Hey, and welcome. Today we're going to crack the code on one of the trickiest parts of the GCSE computer science exam, those big scenario-based questions. We're going to build a simple, step-by-step guide to turn all those long, confusing paragraphs into easy marks. You ready? Okay, let's dive in.
So here's our game plan. We're going to work through 5 key stages. First, we'll look at how to decode the question itself. Then we'll break down a real exam problem, pinpoint its inputs and outputs, think a little about defensive design, and then finally, we'll pull it all together into a foolproof strategy you can use for pretty much any scenario question.
All right, first up, let's tackle those wordy questions head on. You know, under exam pressure, a massive block of text can be super intimidating. But we're going to flip that feeling completely, turning that confusion into total confidence.
I bet the answer is yes, right? It's such a common feeling. You read the paragraph, then you read it again, and you're still kind of scratching your head, not sure what the program is actually supposed to do. Trust me, you are definitely not alone on that one.
But here's the secret. These questions, they're not random. They all follow this hidden pattern. And once you learn to see that pattern, you can use a simple technique that will work every single time, no matter what an examiner decides to throw at you. So let's put this into practice. We're going to grab an actual question from an OCR exam paper and break it down to see this pattern in action. For our case study, we'll call it the video rater. Okay, so here's the exact text from the paper. It just says, a program allows users to search for and watch videos. Users give a rating to the videos they watch. That's literally it. When you strip away all that exam pressure, it's actually a pretty simple description, isn't it? So step 1 for us is to just pull out the key actions, the verbs. What does the program actually do? Well, it lets you search, watch, and rate. And just like that, we've turned a confusing paragraph into a simple 3-point checklist. We know exactly what this program needs to accomplish.
Now for the main event, actually tackling the question. We'll start with part 4A, and we're going to focus on how to pinpoint the inputs and outputs so you can lock in those marks and think just like an examiner. First things first, let's get crystal clear on what we mean. An input is simply any data that a user, or maybe another system, sends to the program for it to do something with. Just think of it as information going in.
And yeah, you guessed it, an output is the exact opposite. It's any information that the program processes and then sends back out. Could be something on the screen, a sound, anything really. It's the information coming out of the system.
Okay, so here is the actual exam question. Identify one input and one output for the program. Super straightforward. It's a 2-marker. You get 1 point for a good input and 1 for a good output.
And here is the absolute key. These answers are pulled directly from the official mark scheme. So, a perfect answer for an input, name or keyword for video. Makes sense, right? It's the data the user types in to search. And the perfect output? Video to be watched. That's what the program gives back out. See? It's a direct cause and effect thing.
And the good news is, there's often more than one right answer. For instance, the mark scheme also says search text or rating given to video are totally valid inputs. And for outputs, you could have said results of search or even the average rating of the video. The main thing is that they all logically follow from what the program is supposed to do.
Okay, great. Let's move on and tackle the next part of the question, 4B. This is where we shift gears a little bit. We're moving from what the program does to what could go wrong. This is all about thinking defensively. So what even is defensive design? Well, it's basically just anticipating problems before they happen. It's about building a program that doesn't just crash and burn when a user types in something weird or unexpected or even tries to break it on purpose.
And here's the question for this part. Describe one method of defensive design that can be used when creating the program. Now this is another 2-mark question, and that keyword you got to notice is describe.
To get full marks here, the mark scheme shows us a really simple 3-step formula. First, you name the method, something like validation. Second, you describe what it does. It checks that the data is sensible. And third, this is the part that gets you the second mark, you give a specific example from our program, like restricting video ratings to a scale of 1 to 10. So, name it, describe it, give an example. That's your perfect 2-mark answer, right there.
All right, so we've taken a real exam question completely apart. Now let's put everything we've learned back together into one simple strategy that you can use to ace any scenario question that comes your way.
Here it is, your 5-step strategy. Step 1, read the scenario. And then, seriously, read it again. Don't rush it. Step 2, get your highlighter out and find the key verbs and nouns, the actions and the things. Step 3, identify the inputs. all that data going in. Step 4 is the outputs, all the info coming out. And finally, step 5, think about what could go wrong. That's your defensive design sorted.
And you know, that's the real power of thinking this way. It takes what looks like this big, scary, complicated problem, and it just transforms it into a straightforward checklist. It puts you in the driver's seat and gives you a clear path to the answer. So if you remember one thing, remember this. Every complex scenario question is just a bunch of simple tasks wearing a disguise. Your job isn't to solve one giant problem, it's to use this checklist to find those simple tasks and just collect the marks one by one.
So, I'll leave you with a final thought to chew on. Using this exact same scenario, what else could an examiner test? Could they ask about data types for the rating? Maybe the algorithm for the search function? Thinking like this is the absolute key to mastering your revision. Go on, practice this method, and you'll be ready for anything.